this is supposed to be somewhat of a review section, as I want to make sure that we're comfortable with radicals and using equations, because on one of the test questions we had, there was an equation with a radical in it, and a lot of people didn't know how to handle that. So, so let's first talk about radicals. I don't have my screen on here today, I'm sorry. But so when we talk about radicals not as square roots, you need to be able to know intuitively what these are, okay? These are not calculator problems. In fact, a lot of the questions today are going to say, do not use your calculator, all right? So this is the third root of 64. That means if I were to take, what number could I put to the third power to get 64? The answer is 4. But again, you have to know that. So maybe you have to play a little bit. Well, 2 to the third is 8. 3 to the third is 27. Okay? You have to think about those things. A lot of these will be nice like this, where you can do them, where they'll be easy numbers. So this one right here is not quite as easy. It's the third root of 0.008. All right? So really, the third root of 8 is 2. So, and when we square root it, it actually gets smaller. Or when we cube it or square it, it goes smaller. So the third root of 0.008 is 0.02. So I didn't have a practice problem on that one. Example 2, okay, simplifying radical problems. Now some of these will have third roots and fourth roots on them, but most of them will just be square roots. So on this one, again, these are without calculators. So this is using these problems. So I'm going to talk through how I actually did this problem. So the first thing I thought when I saw this was I thought, okay, so I know the square root of 10. 10 is not a perfect square. So I'm going to split it up into 2 square roots, 2 times 5. So I have the square root of 2 times the square root of 5. Now, I'm going to think on the bottom here. The square root of 5 can't be split in anything. But 8 is 2 to the third power. So I'm going to change this square root to the square root of 2 to the third. Now what this does for me is it allows me to cancel. So I can cancel out the root 5s. And I can also, I have a square root of 2 and a square root of 2 to the third. So I can change that to, I can cancel out, this is like 2 to the first. So if you remember your exponent rules, we can subtract. So it becomes 1 over the square root of 2 squared. The square root of 2 squared is 2, so the answer is 1/2. Note, I did this without a calculator. Okay, this is about thinking through problems and discovering the answers. Okay, now if I multiply 2 radical expressions together, I use the FOIL first, inside, outside, last. So 1 times 2 is 2. All right, and then I have 2. Uh-oh, I messed up somewhere. Oh no. Okay, so I know what I did wrong. I actually put an extra 2 in there. There should be, this 2 should not be here. Let's fix this while we go. All right, so I'm going to erase. This 2 does not belong. Okay. And okay, so let's see how I can do this without going to the board. So this should be a plus sign. I can do this. All right, so 2 plus 2 square root 3 plus, oh, this should be a minus. Oh my goodness, that's screwing up all over the place. So let's fix this. So this should be minus root 3. I was having a lot of trouble with my board when I was trying to record these, or when I was trying to write them down. So 2 plus 2 root 3 minus root 3 minus root 3 times root 3. So then I would have a 2 here plus, pardon my penmanship here, I can't do this very well with a mouse, and this should be a 2, okay, minus root 3 minus 3. Now, since both of these have a root 3, I can combine them, and this should be a 1, okay, root 3. And we haven't talked about, did we talk about rational expressions last time? We did. So this is, this can be root 3 minus 3, or 3 to the 1/2. Okay, I'm butchering this, sorry. There we go. Okay, so so that's that problem. So obviously I was having issues. All right, let's expand it. Let's make sure I didn't make any more mistakes. Okay, moving on. Okay, example 3. No calculator. I want you to do this without a calculator. So how can we do this problem with no calculator? So the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to simplify our expressions so that we have the same base. That's usually the easiest way to do this. So first of all, I did a side thing here, okay? I did 3 squared, all right, times 4, okay, because 9 is 3 squared to the 4th power. And here I did 3 to the 3rd to the negative 3, okay? So now let's look at when I have those, let's simplify. So 2 times the negative 1/2 is negative 1, okay? Then we have this 2 times 4 is 8 times negative 1 is negative 8. Bases are all the same. This is really nice. And then 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So I have 3 to the negative 1, 3 to the negative 8, and 3 to the negative 9. Now, negative 1 plus negative 8 is negative 9. So this is the exact same thing. So my answer is 1. Okay. All right, the hard one. Okay, it's example 4. Now, most of the time we are taught to rationalize denominators. Okay, but occasionally somebody's going to throw a loop in at you and they're going to say, let's rationalize the numerator. So I thought this would be good practice, since I know you've rationalized denominators before, to go ahead and rationalize the denominator. Let's see what happens. So if you see here, okay, to rationalize this denominator, I have to multiply by the entire thing except with a plus sign. Remember, when you multiply 2 things by each other, 1 plus 1 negative, it cancels out the inside term, so we'll end up with no radicals. So when I multiply these together, I end up with 4 times x plus h plus 3 minus 4 times x plus 3. Now, I want to note that the way I did this was to use that formula. I don't have it on here. A plus b times a minus b is a squared minus b squared. So this is a squared, okay, 4, and then this is the square root squared, and this is b squared, all right? And then on the bottom, everything is times h. I left off a parenthesis there. So once I simplify all of this, and this was actually pretty easy to simplify, I end up with 4h. So it's 4x minus 4x, 3 minus 3. I think I messed up again. It was not a good day for me when I was writing this down. It was actually a couple of days ago, and my board was not cooperating at all. So let's fix this. So right here, this is where no, I didn't screw up. Okay. 4 times 3 is 12, and negative 4 times 3 is negative 12, so they cancel out. And then down here, I have h times 2 times the square root of x plus h plus 3 plus 2 times the square root of x plus 3. Now, since I have a 2 in both of these terms, I can cancel them out, and my h cancels out with the h there because it's multiplied by the whole thing. So I have 2 over the square root of x plus h plus 3 plus x plus 3. And I don't remember for sure. Nope, that was it. There were no practice problems on this one, so it was just examples. So please make sure you have them all written down, and I will see you tomorrow, and we will practice square root problems.